Hi there, it's Karina and I'm Mrs. Wright and I'm here to do a book read aloud with you for kindergarten and first grade. And this is about Earth Day. Before I get started, I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm also going to give you some vocabulary words that come up in this book. I'm going to read you an ebook today. It's called Not For Me, Please, I Choose to Act Green. So April 22nd, which was yesterday, was Earth Day. And so this book is about Earth Day. What do you already know about Earth Day? Did you celebrate something during Earth Day? How do you help the earth at your home? These are all things you might be thinking about during Earth Day. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce some vocabulary words, and I'm going to show you some images on my screen. There's a word that comes up in this text. It's kind of an interesting word. It's called jars. It has an interesting spelling. And if you see here on my screen, that word means that in oceans in the world, there are circular patterns or currents in the water. So circular, like moving in a circle, ocean currents. That's what a jar is. Okay. Another word that comes up in this text, oh, there's a better image of the jar. Here's another word that comes up in our text, and this is a really good image, and the word is pollution. Have you heard the word pollution before? Pollution means when gases or smoke or chemicals are put into the air. And if you look at my screen here, this would be a good example of smoke going into the air. If you look on the ground, there's lots of trash there too, so that's all pollution. Another word that comes up in this text is debris. Debris means junk or pieces left from something broken or destroyed. So if you look on my screen, these are all images of debris. Might look like garbage on a beach. There's another image of debris. Another word that comes up in this text is photodegrades. And this is a harder one to explain, but it's when something like plastic is changed or altered by the sunlight. So if you look at this image here with the pot, the sun burnt this hole in the plastic or photodegrade. Okay? And here you can see that the sun also changed the plastic on this bottle. Okay, so that words comes up in our text. So how many of you have heard the word recycle before? Recycle. A lot of us recycle at school or we recycle at home. And you see these three arrows moving in a circle. Recycle means changing trash into something usable and reducing harm to the earth. So you can recycle cans and bottles, and they can be used over again, so we're not being wasteful. This is one of the R's. Another R is reduce. That means that you can just simply not use as many things that could harm the earth, such as plastic bags. A lot of us use our own grocery bags when we go to the grocery store because plastic can be harmful to the earth. Reduce. And then reuse. So often we can reuse something. In the grocery bags is another good example. We can use cloth bags over and over again, and we don't have to use plastic and paper bags every time we go to the store. So finding a new way to use trash so we don't throw it out. Okay. So I'm going to go to my ebook now. And this book I'm reading on Kindle. and it's called Not For Me, Please, I Choose to Act Green. This is written by Maria Godsey and illustrated by Christoph J. Kellner. Here we go. Not for me, please. I choose to act green. There once was a day when I didn't act green, a time when I thought things would always stay clean. I didn't think twice of the choices I made, the impact they had, or the damage that stayed. My actions were based on the ease brought to me, with never much thought to air, land, or sea. But my thoughts around this changed in a flash when I noticed the damage caused by our trash. The sight of the reaction in me, and all I could say was, not for me, please. And I'm going to read you the bottom here. It says, over 260 million tons of waste are generated every year in the United States. It's a lot of garbage. We would not like to see garbage hanging in our trees like that. I could not continue to live as I did. Surely I could help out, because I'm a strong kid. From there I decided that I will take action, and protecting our planet became my new passion. You too can help out with this phrase that I found. Just say, not for me, please, and stand your own ground. It may take some practice, but I'll show you how, and why it's important for us to act now. Let's look at a straw that comes from a shake. Now imagine the trip that straw will soon take. Most often our straws are made out of plastic, and after one use they're thrown in a basket. From the basket they head to the dump or the sea and become something known as marine debris. Remember, we talked about debris, and that means garbage. Each day, more than 500 million plastic straws are used and discarded in the United States alone. That's a lot of straws for just one country. This all creates waste that ends up in landfills or in our oceans, just for the convenience of having one straw. Our oceans are filled with all sorts of stuff that hurt our sea creatures and make their lives rough. Poor turtles and fish mistake trash for their meal. Imagine the pain that their tummies must feel. Or worse, they get tangled in our careless muck, around fins, heads, and legs that they're nothing but stuck. Did you know that about 1 truckload of trash is thrown into our waters every minute? This trash is captured by ocean currents and collects within ocean jars or vortexes. Some jars have become so full of trash that they have been nicknamed garbage patches. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is now 3 times the size of France. This one little straw is not worth the high cost. Why use that harm or cause a great loss? Here's what I say, not for me, please, when asked. I don't need a straw that will simply be trashed. We all have a choice. Let's make our small part to refuse to cause harm and decide to act smart. Just think through your actions in the cause and effect of waste and pollution and careless neglect. Let's choose to recycle, reduce, and reuse. And with my strong phrase, there's no way we can lose. Here are some examples to show what I mean and how you can join me and begin to act green. And those 3 R's we talked about: recycle, reduce, reuse. Reduce, reuse, and recycle is also known as the 3 R's and are the main ways to practice environmentally responsible consumer behavior. Do you see all this trash scattered around? Why would anyone throw their stuff on the ground? Not for me, please, is what I choose to say, and pick up the litter and throw it away. I chose to be mindful and sort through my trash, recycling things like plastic or glass. These can be turned into something brand new, like clothing, park benches, and even a shoe. So often we see these types of garbage cans. And also, I wonder if you recycle at home. Look at the lights that someone left on in the room that is empty when everyone's gone. The same for computers, games, and TVs. Why keep these things on when for no one to see? Not for me, please, is what I use what I need and power things off whenever I leave. I know that's not easy for one to, that I know that is easy for one to forget. But do it enough and your habit will be set. When you consume less power and energy, you decrease the demand and therefore emissions from power plants. And that's like pollution that we just talked about. Do you see this faucet in the water that flows? How much has been wasted? It's hard to know. Just running the water when it's not, just running the water when it's not in use is careless and wasteful. There's just no excuse. Not for me, please. I avoid wasteful drips while brushing or cleaning or my small fingertips. We're lucky to have a clean water to drink, not the kind that is harmful, dirty, or stinks. So we are really lucky to have fresh water where we live, and we need to be really careful not to use too much. So I always tell my girls to turn off the water when they're brushing their teeth until you're actually using the water. Did you know a 5-minute shower uses more water than a person in a developing country uses in a day? Sadly, 1 in 9 people worldwide do not have access to safe and clean drinking water. The lack of clean water kills children at a rate equivalent to jet crashing every 4 hours. That's really sad. The important point is we really have to be careful with water. It's a big resource. Do you bring food to school that's packed at home? After lunch, how much trash has been thrown? From plastic baggies to small juice boxes, it's scary the trash that just one meal can produce. Not for me, please. I watch what I bring using containers and avoid plastic things. I bring my own bottle. I wash and reuse. No need to contribute to plastic abuse. It's been estimated that on average, a school-aged child using a disposable lunch daily generates 65 pounds of waste per school year. That equates to 18,760 pounds of lunch waste for just one average-sized elementary school. Just by changing what and how you pack your lunch can drastically reduce waste. So bringing a lunch box and then reusing the containers in your lunch box is another great way to reduce trash. Even while shopping, I see so much waste. Plastic grocery bags found all over the place. And why are there so many things plastic wrapped? Most of the plastic will just get scrapped. Not for me, please. I've had enough. I use my cloth bags when I pack up my stuff. I also take care of what goes in my cart. Choosing less packaging and plastic is smart. Plastic bags are created using fossil fuels and require vast amounts of water and energy to manufacture and ship. Plastic bags are used on average for 12 minutes, but remain in landfills, oceans, and other places for thousands of years. So trying to use less plastic bags is very helpful to the earth. Have you been on a picnic when the sky was bright and blue? Do you remember the cups, the plates, and the forks that you used? They're probably plastic and only used once. By decomposing takes years, not just a few months. Not for me, please. I'll join the ban against single-use plastic because I'm not a fan. All that I need can come from my home. Let's avoid needless buys and reuse what we own. So you can see at his picnic, he's using his normal plates and cups from home, so he can just wash them and reuse them. About 50% of plastic we use once and throw it away. There are several kinds of plastic and each degrades at a different rate. The average time for a plastic bottle to completely degrade is about 450 years. It can even take some bottles 1,000 years to biodegrade. And biodegrade means that it goes back into the earth and it's gone, basically. Our world is connected with resources shared. We all must pitch in and give nature our care. Let's pass on these things that don't let's pass these things that don't make much sense or benefit us as our planet at our planet's expense. The options are endless. If you make the right choice, think the 3 R's and you're using your strong voice. So remember the 3 R's are reuse, recycle, and reduce. So how will you choose next time when you are out? Will you think differently and take a new route? You are free to borrow my little phrase and say, "Not for me, please," in all of your days. Not for me, please. And that is the end. Not for me, please, I choose to reduce. Not for me, please, I watch what I use. Not for me, please, I brought my own bottle. Not for me, please, I'm a role model. So hopefully in the next few weeks you can think about ways, or always think about ways that you can help planet Earth. I hope you're well. I miss seeing you guys, and I will see you soon. Take care.